Game and shit. I don't know. I've never. Well, just casually gave me a bitch slap. Like, get out of here.
I'd bitch slap you too if you're trying to eat my sauce.
This is Mama's special sauce. You're not gonna get a taste of this special sauce. It's full of gems.
It's obviously the Macca's special sauce. Look at that color scheme.
This is the Szechuan secret sauce, and you're never gonna get your hands on it. Rick and Morty fans.
You know the Rick and Morty guy that jumped on the Macca's counter and went.
Yeah. There's a
guy?
YouTuber that recently interviewed him.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was all a stunt. Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
real.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he wasn't actually like that. Rick and Morty. Like he wasn't that type of fanboy. He was. Well, I mean. It sort of leads to a conundrum, a little bit of an argument that could be made. Whereas, if you ironically do something enough times, you just end up being that thing. Even though the guy was joking and he was very obviously like making fun of Rick and Morty fans that are that obsessive and who jump around and scream about Szechuan sauce and having high IQs, he still did it. Like, he still made a complete embarrassment out of himself, and so, like,
Whoa,
even though
he just fucking ran at you with a knife.
Even though you mean a small sword.
Mitchell,
A small sword.
you and I both know that I have live steel weapons.
Yeah, you do.
I also know where you live.
You're gonna turn me into a human shish kebab.
No.
What?
More like a curry. I'm gonna fucking dice you up.
Oh no, I don't want to be turned into a curry.
Feed your bones to my dog.
Please don't feed me to your dog. Is it like one of the metallic dogs from like the previous level?
Were they metallic? I thought they were just white.
I don't know. Wow. Clearly they were slightly Puerto Rican. Oh, whoa, what?
I'm
You fell
free falling.
It was a good joke though.
Yeah.
It made for a very good viral video. Enzo, or backwards, it is Osne.
I guess Enzo is a slightly better dragon name than Thomas.
Why don't you glide over there and find out? Is that a challenge? Yes. No. I very specifically. Whoa, you can actually see from the like distance. Okay, so this is actually a really good example of what I was talking about earlier. So what you'll see is very low poly count. You don't see like any details over there. Now, watch as everything like pops into existence. Look at that. Look at that. It's very, very clear example of what I was talking about.
Wow, there are lots of textures on the things that didn't have textures now.
Yeah.
And there's maybe a cactus or two.
And flags. Flags. No, I didn't mean that.
Man, you're as bad as PewDiePie.
No.
You're going to jail. You offended me.
This is how I become famous. Mega Mitch exposed, and a bunch of people make videos about me, and it just drives up the subscriber count of my videos. Because, like, in all seriousness, though,
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Well, I mean, technically there is. Like, if you if you're revealed to be a murderer. No, that's what I was about to say. Is that the interesting thing about Logan Paul? First of all, with this Suicide Forest video, I know this is old news by now, but with the Suicide Forest video, all of like his regular viewers. And, like, you know, it became #1 on trending, and everyone liked the video. Like, the video had all likes for the longest time until people said, like, hang on, there's something wrong with this. And then suddenly everyone, like, backtracked and was all like, oh, yeah, no, I'm totally on...
Man, you headbutted that thing so bad that it lost its feathers.
But basically, long story short... fuck you, bird! But long story short, Logan Paul didn't actually lose any subs from that. He's in fact, if anything, all the news about it brought people to his channel.
True. I was never brought to his channel by it because I
despise it. Yeah, I know.
I despise the fact that even happened.
I actually had a conversation with my sister once because like she
have a sister?
Yes, I do. I have a sister.
I thought you were going to like make the joke that I was at her house for like 2 days.
Oh yeah. Basically, sorry, I had a mental blank. What was I saying?
I don't know. I probably shouldn't have cut you off.
Yeah, no. Don't you hate it when that happens when you're like thinking of a story and like right. So we're watching Logan Paul because she doesn't really know that much about the YouTube scene. She is interested in it, but she doesn't keep up to date with like all the latest goss or whatever. And I showed her the Logan Paul thing and some videos about it, and she was all like, "Oh man, if I ever meet this person, this guy in person, I'm gonna like punch him out." And I was like, "That's you'd go to jail for that probably." And she's like, "Oh, enough people hate Logan Paul, they'd probably bail me out." And I'm like, "I'm not sure. That's not how that works, but okay."
Either way, it's not really the point.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, and she followed it up with, "You could film it for your YouTube channel and it would go viral." I'm like, I don't doubt that.
Actually, that's a pretty good point. Not that that's what you want with the channel.
No. I don't.
Can you hover in this game? You know, like the thing where you did a little flutter with your wings? It's usually done by pressing triangle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nope.
No. That must be a Spyro 2 and 3 thing.
Yeah, it's a Spyro 3 thing if I recall. Okay, well I guess I'll just go back to the top here and do the thingamajigger. So I bet the guy's gonna run at me again with this small sword.
That is not a small sword.
It's the tiniest sword that I've ever seen. Have you seen a tiniest sword, Jingles?
Yeah, you dick.
Well, at least it's capable of...
It can't penetrate anything.
Oh, that's rude. I'm gonna flame a cactus.
Look at him prancing.
It's so cute. If he keeps twirling like that, he's gonna pass out.
You didn't... Oh, yeah. There we go.
There we go. Going to Magnus, Ultra Magnus.
Hi, Spyro.
Hey, how's it going, Spyro?
Doing a good job protecting him. Make sure to keep him.
Who did a good job of protecting him?
Butterflies.
Butterflies.
It's always funny to hear giant dragons talking about butterflies.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know, like, they're just like the opposite of butterflies.
Into the ice cavern we go, okay.
So first we went into the dark hollows, and now we're going into the ice cavern.
Really? Is this gonna be nothing but sex jokes all the time?
I thought that was...
The point of the show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I
feel like the purpose of the show is just to have fun and make commentary on various things, the game, our lives.
Oh?
Caution, little one. Wait until you grow big.
Wait until you become well endowed like myself. You don't need to tell me about that. Are you sure
Don't worry,
you don't want to
Spyro.
hear about my dick?
Don't worry,
It's
Spyro.
really big.
Don't worry, Spyro. With me around, you won't have to wait long before you grow big. Yeah.
One of these days you're gonna be big like me. I was thinking for an episode.
That must be novel.
It's very rare. It's quite the novelty. But I was thinking for maybe an episode we could talk about school stories. Stories from like when we were in high school and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know. I had not the best high school years. Absolutely hated high school. But one of the things that I found a little bit annoying with that, which I feel like venting about after this.
Spyro, some big norks up ahead are wearing armor.
Some big norks.
Armor can make their feet very slippery.
And if you think you've killed them all, there are more.
So what he's saying is that the armor makes good lube.
What? Where did he say that?
He said that it makes them very slippery.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. I don't think armor makes good lube. We all know that tears make the best lube. But anyway, what I was saying...
The tears of orphans.
No. You have to burn down a lot of orphanages to get that many tears. Are you crazy?
So many.
So many.
So many.
I've barely gotten
Is that
to
meant
one.
to be a deterrent or like... or is that meant to like encourage me?
I think those guys can only be horned to death. Right, so my only good teacher, I think, in high school was possibly my drama teacher.
That explains much.
I guess so. But
Ooh, I almost fell down the giant gaping hole.
my teachers would always do this thing, right?
Mm.
Well, okay, not always. There was there's this one particular teacher, right, who she would say, "We're here to help if you need help with anything. If there's anything that you don't understand about the criteria, feel free to ask us after class." And I'd go up to them and I'd say, "Hey, there was this. Can you repeat this one thing, or can you clarify this one part that I don't understand?" And she'd respond, "You should have been listening, Mitchell."
God damn it.
I'd be like, "You just said if I didn't understand anything that you were here to help." It was like, "Well, it's break time for me, and I'm off to go eat lunch." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just...
Some teachers are dicks. I try not to be that teacher.
Did you ever have any interesting like or like annoying teachers or kids at your high school?
Yeah, there was one teacher that we used to call Pumpkinhead.
What? Like Toasty?
No, just Pumpkinhead.
Just Pumpkinhead. Oh my gosh, no.
Because like,
Yeah.
she was a really fucking mean teacher. And she was well, as I said, she's mean, so therefore she's obviously an asshole. But
So she deserves to be called names.
oh, she just fucking flipped it at us for literally no reason every time we had her in class, and she had this big orange afro. And she looked a little bit like a Halloween character, so we called her Pumpkinhead.
No, that's terrible.
So we called her Pumpkinhead.
Oh my god.
She was.
That's the worst.
Actually, it's the best.
No, that's terrible. Well, I mean, I guess if a teacher's bullying their students, then... What did that guy say?
I don't know, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, neither was I. It was very quick, though. He was just like, "I'm out of here. Bye."
He was probably just like, fuck.
So, like, anyway, going on about teachers. I had this, one high school teacher who practically, oh gosh, there was this one time where like I'd been studying up all night, doing my homework and all that shit, and then the next morning when I got to class, I was super tired. I arrived late, I was super tired, and then halfway through class, like I was paying attention, but like I felt a yawn coming on, and so I yawned, and then the teacher just like midway through a lecture just snaps at me, "Am I boring you?"
Well, now that
like,
you mention it.
Yeah. But you know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's the most irritating thing where it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry that there was this, you know, involuntary impulse that my body has that I can't control." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Like boners.
basically. Or belches.
Well, you can kind of make belches quieter, I guess.
You can make them quieter, but you can't necessarily stop them. When you feel them coming up, they're coming up like a boner.
Wish you could make farts quieter.
Did you have any awkward boners when you were in high school?
So many.
Oh gosh, like
No.
I don't know. Maybe this is just a me thing. I don't know if other people can relate, but there were a couple of times where I just got a boner for absolutely no reason at all.
No,
like,
that's a thing.
That's just a thing. Like, I wasn't thinking about sex. I wasn't thinking about anything even remotely stimulating. It was just like,
That's just puberty.
boom. It's just like thwing, thwack, fwibbity doo.
I hope that is not the noise that your penis is making.
Those are the noises that my boners make every single time. Dude, my boners have made some of the weirdest noises.
You should probably get that checked out.
One time, my boner looked me in the face and started talking to me, and it was just like, "Hey, you haven't touched me in a while." Like, "I can't do this right now. I'm in the middle of class." It's like, "Are you sure about it?" And the teacher just started screaming because I had my pants down. That's not a real story. No.
Really?
You thought talking penis was genuine?
Yeah. I thought you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it not real?
I don't know.
Oh, it's mad.
Maybe,
Oh, I almost ran off.
maybe that was just a fever dream that I had. Puberty was a weird time.
But yeah, like boners, just popping a boner randomly in the middle of class is just a thing that happens.
Yeah. Okay. Did you,
It was even worse when you went to, like, the, swimming parts of class.
Swimming, oh gosh.
Yeah, like, every year, my school did, like, a swimming day where we had to, like... No, it was like,
Sorry, I was just remembering my own story. You go on.
It was competition swimming, so, like, you know, we had to race and all that bullshit. I hated it. Anyway, yeah, so many random bonus.
Yeah, no, I can definitely partially relate to that. I don't think I ever got any bonus while swimming, but I was just remembering this one swimming competition that happened fairly early on in high school. We had, like, an annual one every year, and I didn't know how to, like, properly swim. Like, I just didn't like the feeling of having, like, salt water in my eyes, so I couldn't, like, dip my head under the water. It was just like, bleh. I didn't like it. It was just like, blah. So, what happened? But, like, every student had to participate in, like, the swimming competitions, right? So, I like, dive into the water, I, like, swim for, like, a few centimeters, and then I'm just like, fuck it, and I walk the rest of the way.
That's fucking amazing.
And the teachers are like, you're not supposed to do that, bitch. Like, I made it to the end, didn't I?
That's actually amazing. What'd you do when you got to the deep end? You just kind of like...
Yeah, just, you know, I don't know. Oh, gosh.
Just kind of waddle around with, like, your face pointed up and, like, just the tip of your nose.
Actually, I do vaguely remember something like that. It also reminds me of this other time. It was when I was in primary school. That's like elementary for people who are not Australian. And...
Are we done with this level?
Yeah, I believe we are. Let's just go into the return home Teletubby. I was about to say Teletubby. So there was a couple of weeks where, like, my house was being renovated, so our family stayed in, like, a hotel apartment complex. I don't know, like, what the exact terminology for it, but there was, like, a swimming pool there, and because we had, like, we didn't have any internet, the movies we rented were extremely boring, and I didn't like have any batteries for my Game Boy or anything like that. I was bored the entire time. I was, like, completely bored, so I spent, like, every single night swimming in the swimming pool that they had there, and I don't know how this happened. I ended up getting, like, an ear infection, which, like, made me feel, like, woozy and, like, horrible for, like...
Woozy, is that a technical term?
Yeah, something like that. For weeks on end, yeah?
Yeah.
I love how they just ignore you and go to the cannons. I just remember having, like, the weirdest fever dream where, like... So, what happened is, like, in real life, what happened is, like, I was, sleeping throughout the day while my parents were at work at this, like, hotel, and, the maid, or, like, the room cleaner, like, peeks her door through, like, peeks her head through the door, and it's all like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know anyone was here, and I just started...
No, I cleaned the room,
I was having a fever dream at the time, and I was, like, feeling completely, like, out of it, and I just started, like, screaming, like, oh my god, a monster! What are you doing
Is
here?
he fucking showing us his arsehole?
Get out of my house! He's presenting.
So did the lady actually there?
Yeah, no, the lady was real.
Okay.
The lady was real. My brain had made up, or maybe, I don't know if she was or not.
Have we been inside of the dry canyon yet?
I don't know. Oh my god. Are you gonna make a sexual innuendo joke about every single level?
If I can.
If I can, yan.
Die.